Hi, I'm Isaac Medina.
And I'm Adam Del Hoyo. Together, we're the Experiment Police, and we are attacking one of our biggest investigations yet.
In this investigation, we're attacking the question of were inmates forced against their will to do medical testing for their past actions, or were they given consent beforehand? Adam and I decided to put ourselves in the shoes of inmates to see what they had to do behind bars for medical research testing.
Would you be able and willing to have cancerous cells injected into your body for science purposes? Many will say yes, but many will say no. But let's hear it firsthand from former inmate William Harper.
I'm very excited to see what questions you have in store today. Experiment Police.
We found out who you were, Mr. Harper, from the article Medical Testing Guidelines Drafted. Prisoners request to participate in research again by the Associated Press. And in this article, you stated that from the 1950s and 1970s, all prisoners are forced against their will to do medical testing no matter how bad their crime was. Can you go in depth on this?
Oh yes, all of us were being tested and injected with such things as cancerous cells, syphilis, and ringworm. Some pretty harsh stuff, right? I myself was even a medical tester too, and I tested other prison inmates.
So what I read from the source from Pittsburgh Post Gazette titled Ex-Convicts Recall Medical Experiments was true about other inmates testing others. Why'd you help?
Yes, that really happened, and I felt really bad, but I earned extra money if I helped along, and I figured I could use it in environments such as a prison.
Very interesting, Mr. Harper, very interesting. We understand that from the 1950s, 1970s, the testing done on prisons and inmates were compared to tests done on Jewish prisoners in Nazi Germany, as stated in both Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot, and for medical research on prisoners raises ethical questions by Mike Blanchfield and Jim Bronskill on Southam News.
Once the truth of what was really happening in prisons came out, society was disgusted. They couldn't believe that researchers would just use us like that. Well, yes, we're criminals who haven't made the best decisions in the past. We're still humans. So it was about time to stop and start to ask for consent. Along while telling us what they were really testing us for.
Another source of ours, medical experiments conducted on us prisoners by Mike Stobe, also claimed that the civil rights movement helped along with giving you prisoners the right to give consent before taking these tests. How true is this?
Very, very true. As everybody knows, the civil rights movement saw racial discrimination protested. But many protested for women and as prisoners as well. So it was only fair that we got the rights we deserved, even though we were behind bars.
Well, Mr. Harper, those are all the questions we had for you today. We greatly appreciate it. You really gave us an answer to our question, which was discovering if inmates were forced against their will to do medical testing for their past actions, or were they given consent beforehand. And based off your answers, we have concluded that prisoners were and were not given consent, but in different decades, So a yes and no answer to our question, which we greatly appreciate. Thankfully, prisoners aren't treated like that no more. Am I right, Mr. Harper?
No kidding. I appreciate you men interviewing me today, and I help spread the word of history and of medical testing.
Once again, thank you, Mr. Harper, and that's all we have for today's installment of Experiment Police. We'll be having a video investigation very soon. Thank you for watching. Signing off now is Isaac Medina, my co-actor, and myself, Adam Del Hoyo. Thank you.